All right. Hope you all guys had a great lunch. We are starting with the presentations again. So please take a seat and we will start soon.
Thank you for that.
Right, here we go. So our next presentation is from Janne Koponen, and he will be talking about holistic development and operations environments. So please welcome to the stage Janne Koponen.
You can probably hear me without this mic, so we have this other one for the yeah. So I'm going to talk about holistic development and operations environment, which kind of theory of term or concept that I up. It's probably new, but it's just what I call it. It's a theory that I hope will catch on and will benefit all the software development that is being used in, for example, in sports. There is some element from there, and normal business development, everything. For me, I'm working for the crowd, technical architect. I'm in the support development team, technical team, and also responsible for the internal development of our processes and tools for the whole Wounded group. So let's start the holistic. It's fancy sounding term, but it dates back to Antiky from Aristotle. Defines it. It's like that we take a system and count the value of all its parts, but the system is more valuable than any individual part put together. So it's kind of a blockwork. You have lots of small pieces working together. You cannot just assume that if you take a handful of cogwheels and throw them in the pocket, it will do the dime. You really need some system around it, and that's the value that it creates. That's more than sum of parts. Wrong way. So as holistic approach, we try to include everything. Today I'm going to only concentrate on the technical part. Don't worry about all the business and marketing and that kind of stuff. But still, all those areas affect how we develop software, how it's sold, and what we are as a person. We can also develop ourselves, our knowledge, our skills, and the operations. Same there, marketing, human resources, business, everything is connected. It's just a small part of technical operations, the DevOps, that kind of stuff, which is kind of the bottom line, the cornerstone of the business. And the environment, well, we could go all the way up the net, the whole environment, or we have the business, we have Drupal communities, our environment, we have the working environment, our offices, our co-workers, our desk, how it affects us. And of course then, in the technical side, we have servers, we have machines, laptops, we have virtual machines, in-house machines, and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of, these parts complement each other, so they form something bigger, and they can sometimes overlap. So there is kind of a way, the possibility to optimize, because we don't have to duplicate the effort. And the benefits are, of course, obvious. You save time, money, fast delivery, happier customers, and better communication. How to achieve this? Working together, integrating, not just in a sense of APIs or something like that. The tools work together, the people work together, like today about the designers and developers working together. Also, everybody from sales to support and aftermarket working together, taking into account where it comes from, where it is going, and how can they benefit from the knowledge from sector, and also how the knowledge proceeds, for example, from sales, that something has been sold, and then there is a developer that needs to implement that. The communication needs to be seamless, otherwise customer gets something completely different. So let's start with the first term, market science. Anybody familiar with this? Comes from the sports world. Okay, I'll start. Story about Dave Brailsford said this when he got the British Olympic cyclist team, became the coach of that team in 2010, when Brits hadn't won any Tour de France. And they decided, oh, it's time, we need to do it. And Dave introduced this concept that if you take every part of the training process, anything to do with the cycling, and we can replace the cycling and biking part there with software development. Improve every aspect with 1%. It's kind of, if you look at that, it's no use of optimizing something with 1%. But if you take the whole approach, there is tens, hundreds, even maybe thousands small things you can improve. And just improving that 1% of each of those, or even part of those, can bring you a lot of benefits. He promised that within 5 years there will be a British Tour de France winner. It took only 3 years. So it's basically those percents add up. Just like compound interest, you get more and more back when you improve small things, and they accumulate. You can, well, Dave's theory was that in 1 year, if you improve every day something with 1%, it adds up around 37% improved performance over a year. that's quite a lot. Okay, then integrations. As I mentioned, the list. Integrating everything is kind of the optimal thing that you can, from the sales, you get all the data from some system and move it forward to developers and designers and all the information flow nicely. Every tool and service you use talk to each other. You get notifications when somebody does something and version control, for example, and you see it on the channel. You know when the customer is responding, and you can easily see what's happening. But of course, there are integrations like you get Swiss Army knife that kind of does everything. But it's usually these kind of tools, they are kind of hard to integrate. They are their own ecosystem tied together, and you cannot add anything outside. So it's more like if you are doing a fancy dinner, you need proper professional tools that you can use. Of course, they are separate tools, but you use them together. You have the process, you have the kitchen managed, you know where everything is. You don't have to search for a knife, you know where it is. And that's kind of the integration that everything has been brought to the same area, same room, and you know where it is, like a process of how you see it with the recipe. And then automation. Of course, when you get those different of the system talk together, you can start automating the task. One system can tell the other system that, okay, this is done now, can you proceed from here? So it's huge gain from not needing a human between those tasks. And again, integrate into somebody's chat room that, okay, the process has started. They can review it, see that it's going okay. And of course, there's lots of those boring tasks that nobody wants to do, and I'll repeat it over and over again. And just making small automated script that can do it for you helps a lot. Okay, so now I either can go and chat with you about if you have any ideas, or I can go and tell a couple of examples of how we at the Wunderkraut are using what kind of integrations and processes and automations we have been doing. So, any preferences? Which one would you like to hear? Or maybe we have time for both. Okay. So, we have been building these Wunder tools for about 2 years now as an internal tool of managing our started the development environments in local computers, and now it's moving forward and currently manage the local environments, the Vagrant, Ansible, that kind of stuff. And we can use those same configurations with Ansible to manage server environments. We don't have to touch our servers manually anymore, and we don't have to worry about if there's some requirements for the project that needs some kind of nginx config or PHP memory limit. You always need to write that. It works on locals, it automatically gets deployed to the production and everything in between. And also that we kind of constantly are trying to extend and come up with new ways of integrating into new systems and how we can maybe integrated with version control. We can get the Git branches. We can create this what platform assets as well as the environment per branch supporting, because, well, our developers have tested it and they fall in love with it, and it's kind of probably the most requested thing they are asking from us, that can we get that? We really love that. And yeah, and also the ticketing system integrating in top of that. So when we have a ticket in our story, we can click that, okay, I'm starting to work on this. It automatically asks you as in process, and it's assigned to you. It also would be nice if that one click also creates Git branch, creates an environment, and you like the ticket where there's a link to that environment for the customer. Customer can go and test it there. The developer can clone the repository or get the branch there. They can get everything like that automatically. And when the feature, customer adds the feature, we can automatically merge it to the production branch or testing branch. Of course, there's staging and that stuff, but the process could work that there is only one interface. You go there and change the status, customer goes there and the status, it affects everything in the development environments, the production environments, anything like that. Well, of course, we have a lot of services we are using for server monitoring, the deployments for code, pull requests, new tickets. Well, there are a lot of things, and all these services are currently spamming our chipset channel. As always, a new message. We have a separate channel for these notifications. But we get, if important notifications there in time and we know what's going on, we can react quickly. We don't have to go and check issue or what are the latest requests we need to react on, or if the server is down, or there is some critical bug fetched from the error logs. And yeah, our support team, we have this concept of care person, which is a person that is part of our project team. When the project starts, we are somebody from our care team to the project who functions as a hub between support and the project team, so we can actually support team from the start. We get to know the customer from the start, because it's usually that after the project ends up in our care. So we know the customer beforehand. We also know the project at that point, so it's a lot less communication in a handover from the project team and over the project to support. And we can support DevOps space. We can create servers if they need those, and all the integrations we can do for them, so they can actually focus on what they are doing, development of the new service project. So there is no need for them to wonder what kind of Ansible playbook I need to write if I want this feature. And also, as I mentioned, the support we are trying, we are not there yet, kind of, but actually having the both ends meet, so that the care, support, and the sales could be already present in the sales. Have a say, for example, what kind of development environments the project needs, and taking those into account in the sales is much easier than when the project starts, the sales has been done, and okay, you don't have development environment budget, or you're missing some kind of plan for how to put this in the production. What else? I already mentioned that local and remote environment. Ticketing system, yeah. Everything I listed there, I think I went through. Do we have anything else? It's kind of, we have a lot of these, and it's kind of coming together here and there and there. So I'm kind of forming more small groupings of features together and then kind of expanding those. And hopefully at some point we bring all these smaller groups to the bigger groups, and someday we have this ideal holistic environment where we watch the project flow. Other questions?
How do you handle when you have new teammates? So if someone joins the company, how you have a process to get started to all these tools, all these admin processes?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, one of our goals is to make them automatic, so the people can actually pick them up and start working with them with enough information already in there. So, well, meaning documentation or the tools that you get started with the tool with some maybe a tutorial or something like that. But of course, currently it's a lot of mentoring and sit together and going through all this, and it's a lot of information. But comparing last summer, we had 2 new members, and it was quite a hassle. Comparing now, just a few weeks ago, also a couple of new members to our team, and I think they were already coming code day 2. So they have the local environment up. They had familiar with the ticketing system and everything like that, and everything just when it works, it's like
Improvement.
yeah.
You have someone in a couple of days they're starting to commit in code. That's really good. Yeah.
It was right. I think some of those guys spent like 2 weeks before having working environment, so it is quite impressive.
Yeah.
I hope we can even improve from there. And of course, the Wonder tools I mentioned, it's open source. It can be found on GitHub if you are interested and have a look, and requests are welcome, as always. Anything else? Well, if you don't have questions now, you can talk to me later. Unfortunately, I won't be in the after party. I need to leave earlier. I will be here until around 5.
No, that's an option. Sorry.
Okay. Well, maybe I will be there then. We'll see. Yeah. But
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, then let's have a coffee break until Sini's next presentation. So 40:30 is the next, so half an hour coffee break with fresh coffee downstairs and snacks and so on. So see you in half an hour.
mukavampi tulee. Ei tarvita mitään.
Hi, I'm Campbell Vertesi, the huge manatee. I'm from Canada, the United States, and Germany. I am stoked about Drupal 8 because of what it represents. More than 3,000 people from every culture you can imagine around the world, taking technology that used to be available only to organizations with the deepest pockets and giving it to everyone as a standard, a new normal for the way the web is built. For my part, I'm excited to use Drupal 8 in my work with nonprofits, help them communicate, get organized, coordinate, and make a real difference on the ground.
A short announcement right here. So tonight at the after party we'll be offering some pizzas, and we have to order these pizzas beforehand, and so we're going through this list over here. I will be leaving this list at the batches table. So if you're coming to the after party and you want some free pizza, put your name in here and put your you can select 2 toppings. So here is a topping list and everything. So just put your name in here and you want. They have all kinds of different topics over there, range of salamis, kebab, and so on, and peach. Who put peach in pizza? I don't know. But still, you can order that if you want to. And this list will be at the patches table over there by the interest. So, free pizza, write your name down there. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Roman from Vibrate. I'm very excited about Drupal 8 release and have a massive influence on the internet because Drupal 8 is a game changer.
Hi, I'm Paul Dula from Tanay, Philippines, and I'm so excited about Drupal 8. I think Drupal 8 is something that we can be more proud of. Drupal 8 CMS can now compete with any enterprise CMS out there. And one more thing is that Drupal 8 is now using Twig system that will make your code clean and static. So I think Drupal 8 is the next big thing. So yeah, thanks.
All right, everybody, get your seats. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes. It's in talk about Drupal technology. I think we are ready to start. So let's welcome to the stage Simi Tanskanen from A1 Media. And she will be talking about Drupal 7 modules that you can do without. So welcome, Simi.
So, first of all, let me ask, how many of you are not that familiar with Drupal 7? Awesome. Because the rest of you who are familiar with it, this can be a competition of stacks. Maybe your choices are better than mine, but they aren't, of course. So, let's get started. Drupal 7 modules you can't even do without. So first, let's address the question, why Drupal 7? I mean, Drupal 8 is out. Why should I even bother? Well, the statistics are right there. Last time I checked, there were over 11,000 modules for Drupal 7 and only almost 1,500 modules for Drupal 8. So, wouldn't have that much to talk about if I were talking about Drupal 8 now, would I? And now, at this time, over 1 million sites are developed with Drupal 7, whereas 75,000 are developed with D8. And of course, it's a nice amount since D8 hasn't been out for that long. So, kudos to you, Mr. D8. And I noticed that there are over 20,000 sites still developed with Drupal 5, which is great. And actually, there was one site still maintained with the first edition of Drupal 5.0, which is approximately 10 years old. It's great. Yeah, why change it? Yeah, if it were, I mean, it's good enough, I suppose. But yeah, the first one, the obvious one, of course, is views. Who here hasn't heard about views? You lie. Views is well-deservingly now moved to Drupal 8 core. In Drupal 7, it's not. It's a contribution module, and it's the most essential module that there is. So what is views? You don't really think about it. You just install it and you use it, and that's about it. But what views is that it provides you a library and a user interface for database fetching information from databases. As we all know, Drupal databases are quite normalized. There's a whole bunch of tables there. And if you wouldn't have this kind of nice little thingamajig, you'd have a bad time trying to get the information. You can always use like node load and functions like those, but everyone knows those functions are slow. And Views offers many output options. you can output your data as a list, unordered list, ordered list. You can use it as a grid, or you can export it as XML. I mean, who uses XML? Not me, but somebody might. Or RSS feed, or anything you can think of. There are so many custom and contribution modules to use. You can do anything with it. You can do slideshows. You can do your own blogs. You can export it as a ICS, calendars. Anything. I don't know if it's possible to develop a site with Drupal at all without views. But then again, there are those hardcore developers who are like, yeah, that's just cheating. You're using a user interface, that sucks, and so do you. But I'm just saying, why reinvent the wheel? Everything you need is there with views. So why should you do it all over again with possible security issues or anything? And views also, it provides reusability. You can always export your view and just import it to another Drupal installation, and you don't have to do all the work again. And there has been some opinions that rendering views is slow. Might take several seconds for, let's say, a table, some sort of a grid to render. So if you're unhappy, you can just make your own templates. It's not that hard. And I think the most important thing with views is the exposed filters. You can let the user decide what they want to see. You can give them exposed filters, like if you have 3 types of content, then you can put on a list there. What do you want to see? Just pick and choose. And then there's the conditioning, where you can decide, well, let's show all published nodes, or if they're really popular, you can show them still even if they're not published. And then Ajax. I mean, really. Even if it's a bit slow, it's still useful. So this is what a view looks like with the user interface. Well, there you have the format, what comes up,
you want to show everything that's related to the node we're watching right now, and anything, exposed forms, Ajax, everything. It's great. Then we have token. And now Drupal 7 does provide some tokens from the core, but not that many, and usually so it's one of those modules that you might not use on its own, but you still need it to use with other modules, since some modules are dependent on tokens. Same with chaos tools, scene tools.
You don't really use it, but you have to have reviews, and it does provide some plugins and tools that can use, but usually don't. But so this is what a token list looks like. Tokens, if you don't know, are bits of kind of global information that you can use site-wide, like the site name, or the node title, or the author name, or anything. You can just use those little bracket things and put your data there, and there you have it. Then we have libraries. With Drupal, you need your contribution modules, and in some cases the contribution modules are built to accommodate some existing libraries, well, like some slideshow libraries or anything, maybe some Visivig libraries. They accommodate those to Drupal or add some settings that you could use Drupal. So you need to download the external library. So this is what it is for. This module enables the use of external libraries. Is this in the Drupal or libraries? No, it should. But we can't have it all. Oh, Composer's nice. Use Composer, that's nice. So, yeah, many modules require an external library to be downloaded so that you can use them in Drupal. And Core only provides a hook, so you can, well, you don't have the API for it. You can program it. You can program with PHP to use some library, but who has time for that? We can just drag and drop it. Then we have Auto, which is a lifesaver, because even though, of course, Drupal allows you to use, plain text, readable URLs like domain.com/page, but it's a hassle to write it every single time. And if you have some kind of structured information, like if you have products, and then you'd like the URL to be, domain.com/product/product name, then you would have to remember to write that every time you create a new node. So that's pain in the rear end. But this module gives you the opportunity and possibility to preset URL paths. So the path will be saved automatically on every node, save, update, and so you don't have to write a /product/product name. You just save and it's there. And you can use it everywhere in Drupal. You can use it for content types, you can use it for taxonomy, you can use it for users. Like if you have a blog, the Drupal default path for user is domain.com/users/username. If you don't use that, you can change it to be like domain.com/authors, writers, whatever you want, or nothing. It's your choice. And it requires and C tools indeed, but not indeed. And it's very useful with the direct module. If you have products or anything and their URLs change, and you don't want those for all fours, because that will hurt your page and everything. You can just use redirect module to redirect. This is what the user interface looks like for the aliases. So there you can see you can set stuff. You can set different paths for every kind of content types, as well as taxonomy and user paths. Yes. And then web form, of course. And it's for web form. You can create a form with all the fields you like, and then you can set emails that can be sent after someone fills up the form, or maybe with using rules. I'll come back to rules later. With rules, you can set different kind of actions, like if you fill out a form, then redirect to some page, or create a node, or anything. And you can use it as a one-step form or multi-step form if you want to create questionnaires or something. With that, and the submissions are stored to database. They can be exported to CSV or Excel. And then there's 8. And I, for myself, am pretty stunned that their date top isn't in the core. I mean, you have to install it as a module. And I don't know if it's not that used or what, but I use date all the time. So what it does is it adds a field option. So you can just use actual date objects, not just strings or anything like that, just date objects. And you can handle those. You can use different time zones, and well, they're date objects. And you can use them with calendar or, well, date IO or jQuery date picker, where you can click on the date field and then a nice little calendar pops up and you can choose the date and stuff like that. Very useful. And then there's IMCE, which is a image browser and uploader. It comes with image resizing and thumbnail creation. You can choose what size of a thumbnail you want to use, like 110 times 110, and or some default sizes, but you can probably pick any size you want. And you can set quotas for users if you have a site that has many users, like a blog or a forum or something. Then you can assign quotas for users that how many images and how much worth of space they can upload images. And it integrates with Visible, which also is not in core. Which is funny. Oh, this is what IMC looks like. On the top there is the browser. You can browse the file there. You can upload new ones. You can create thumbnails from files that have already been uploaded, or you can create thumbnails on upload. You can delete, resize, everything. And the default directory is sites/all/file. You can change it if you want to, and you can use the public site as well as the what's the other one? Can't remember. Well, you can also upload files that are not public. And then on below is one thing that I constantly forget, is that when you install IMDE, you will have to choose that as a file browser type with your Visible editor. I forget that constantly, and then I'm like, why isn't IMCE there? Why can't I upload images? I'm like, oh, right. It's like with the permissions. You always forget them. Always. And then, well, some of people like to install the whole Visible module and then download the external libraries of whatever editor they like. There are many. There are FK editor and the CK editor. And I can't even remember what all there are because I've been using CK editor for years now. I find that being the most, well, it suits my needs. So instead of downloading the Visible module and downloading the external libraries, you can just download the whole CK editor for Drupal module and install that, because I have found the Visible module being hard to set up because it only accepts some versions of the external library, and usually they are old. Like the 4CK, the Visible module only accepts 1.3 version, when I think this one is like 1.5 or something. And then there are just issues and issues after issues, and you can't get it working. And with the Visible module, you need an extra IMCE Visible Bridge module. You don't need that when you just install the CK editor module. It's there. It fits. No problem. And that's what the CK editor looks like. My job usually has been aside of coding and developing sites, also teaching and teaching the customer and accommodating them to their site. And with my experience, I have noticed that CK usually has the best response from customers. They like it the most because it looks like Word the most. So that's why I use it. jQuery update. Now, that's a shame. Drupal 7 ships with jQuery 1.4. That's old. And yeah, that's not very useful. So we have a module, jQuery update, that we can update the jQuery version, and we can choose what version we use on the front end as well as the back end. Because, well, the back end side, what our first sir said, that the front end is developing faster than the back end. Well, it's true, and that's why the back end requires at max 1.7 jQuery, because I tried using 1.9 and views is broken. jQuery 1.9. So yeah, don't do that. But on the front end, use whatever you want. Meta tag. This module has become more useful the last few years when the metadata has become more important. Google has started acknowledging metadata more and valuing it more. So if you want to achieve a page rank, you need to have your metadata on point. So what meta tag does is that it provides you with a user interface to set up meta tags globally or by node or by content type or by taxonomy or by user. So it kind of works the same way as Path Audit does. You can just, you have this one place you can set everything up and use tokens for that, so you don't have to worry about you don't have to write something and hope that the data doesn't change. You can use tokens for that. And it supports many common meta tags aside, with the actual metadata, like, Open Graph and Twitter cards and stuff. And you have two options where you can assign the metadata. On top there is the user interface where you can override or set global data, and there's the front page data there in the middle, because usually front page doesn't have that much information. It just has an image maybe, and maybe some data like, okay, welcome to our website. But that's probably not what you want the people to see when they Google you. You want them to see, oh, we are the best company ever, and we fulfill your every need. But I can't write that on your page now, can you? So that's where meta tag steps in. And then on the bottom, with each node, you can override whatever has been put on the user interface side in the settings. Rules. Now, rules is one of my favorites. Rules is great. So basically, it's just X happens, then Y happens. Like if a user hits a certain page, if a user hits 404 or 403, or a login attempt has failed, or whatever, then you can assign functions for event, and you can code your own triggers and as well as the actual outcomes. So this kind of, you don't have to depend on like cron. You don't have to write your own PHP and then run it in cron or anything like that. You can just, this happens on a minute, something happens. So there is an example of a rule. So when an existing comment has been updated and user has some roles, in this case it's a SC member, and the comment is published, then you send mail. It's as simple as that. You can do anything. And here's a list of other useful modules that I can go through briefly. Administration views is a very nice module since it was a very nice add to the Drupal 8, the whole search, text search. You don't have that in D7, but when you install administration views, you do! So it provides you a set of views for better content management and better content filtering. And then you have UberCart or Drupal Commerce. If you want to do web shops with Drupal, which is perfectly manageable, then you have those. There are probably others, but well, I've just used UberCart, so it's okay, I guess. And then any views add-on, I mean any, but mostly like View Slideshow, it uses jQuery slideshow, the most common slideshow. So, website doesn't have slideshows nowadays. But then you use accordion. If you don't like the traditional slideshow, you can use accordions. And then there's internationalization. That's a mouthful. But it helps you with the multi-language sites. Very useful. And the XML sitemap, of course, you have to have a sitemap nowadays if you want your page rank to. Then if you're developing something potentially be system consuming or the latency is high, then you should develop with this development module on. It shows you run times and SQL query times and whatever is required. And then we have feeds, which is both an exporter and an importer. You can import CSV files, you can import XML, you can import probably JSON too, Yeah, basically what it does is you can import external data straight into nodes. You give it the fields that you want to fill with the data coming from outside, and it creates nodes for you. And you can run it periodically. You can run it like every minute or as often as possible, or every day. And then when you use so they have better exposed filters, which goes with views, which has the exposed filters, which are great. But then we have this module that makes them better. It gives you the option of a select drop-down list instead of radio or checkbox buttons, for example. And then, of course, last but not least, any box. Any kind of box, lightbox, trig box, text box, color box, nerf box, whatever. And then some modules are not enabled by default. And the first one, the first one, if you know what you're doing, you shouldn't need it. it, but it's there. I mean, you can add raw PHP to you can add raw PHP into your nodes, and of course the PHP will be written to the database. So I strongly advise you against using this, but I'm just telling you that it is there. If for any reason you would need it, of course it slows down SQL, and it's considered bad practice. And then there's the blog, poll, forum modules that are removed in Drupal 8 because, well, you can do the same thing with Vue. But if you're lazy or if you're just not that, coding, and you just want a blog, you can just enable that, and it gives a blog for every single user. That's what it does. And well, forums, you probably know what those are. Then there's Trigger, which, well, rules is better, but if for some reason you don't want to or can't use rules, then Trigger is, well, I don't even want to say the next thing, but good enough. And then there's content translation and local, where you can translate content or import which files, usually it's with just English, built in English. So you can from Drupal's webpage, you can get translations to the core and many modules as well. So you import those and use Drupal in other language if you want to. And you can also translate like tags or labels that are shown on the front end. So it doesn't look like there's this label in English and then there's this text in Finnish, because that's kind of dumb. Well, that's all I have, so let's fight. No fight? Not at all? Say something, Dean, man.
I don't know. What do you think about the improvements of some of these modules getting core?
I think it's awesome. I think it's good. And your presentation really made me want to try Drupal 8. I will. DC is fine too, it's okay.
And by the way, do you know about there's a program about contribute modules from 7 to 8. So there are a list of modules that they should be in 8 as soon as possible. Also, it looks like there is also I don't know if it's a mentoring program, but it's also some budget there for people that want to get into help import any specific module. So here is putting some money for those people that want to
I might consider that. That's the number one reason I did not move to Drupal yet. The lack of modules scares me. And even though I like coding, I like my own modules, then sometimes just the need to reinvent the wheel is redundant.
So we have one speech. So let's skip ahead a little bit with the schedule. So we have a short 5-minute break, and then after that, until we're going to be talking about Ansible and deployment. So short 5-minute break. If you haven't ordered your pizza at the after party, go ahead and order it at the table. It will be leaving soon, so please check out that table. Thanks.
Hi. So I'm Antti. Been working for Affect now for 1.5 years. Before that, working for Wirely, working for Aukor, working for Tio, some big companies. And this is basically a case study of what we have been doing, but also some kind of evangelism about Ansible and how it might help you and the project too. Case studies from Tierra. Tierra is our one biggest customer, and they are building also Drupal sites. So this is why I choose Tierra as a case study here. Short topics. What's Tierra? What's Tierra ecosivusto? What's Affect doing? Big picture of this whole system. Then technically Ansible playbooks, roles, tasks, templates, and then the actual deployment, and then I will try to give a short demo how it works also. So Tierra is a company providing ICT systems for Finnish municipalities. They have SAP, CRM, websites, that kind of stuff. They are based on this house somewhere, 7th floor. And this case study is about the website system, what they have been now building for, I guess, 4 or 5 years. It's a common platform, Drupal 7 distribution with content types, views, landing pages, permissions, templates, and easy installation from start to municipalities to make them communicable websites. It's not the sähköinen asiointi, electricity, that kind of stuff. It's the communicable websites, how they communicate for people. Rauma, Vaasa, Imatra, Kuusamo, and some others. They look almost the same because they are built on base theme that's the same. But some visuals differs, some functionalities differs from the sites to each other. It's multilingual, entity translation is used, and some of them have only one language, some of them have 4 languages, and now the latest ones have also Russia. So we have been now really taking Drupal 7 to the limits with all translation systems for field collections, for paragraphs, for every field, every content type, adding interfaces, everything. It's with entity translation and the systems. It's pushed to limits, and I guess we are waiting for Drupal to help us. Okay, shortly Affect Digital Services. We are about 300 in Finland and more than 1,000 in Nordics. Based Turku, Tampere, Jyväskylä, Stockholm. They are open positions. Welcome to work with us. Okay, big picture. Tierra has their own data center. They don't want to do in cloud because they have all Finnish municipality data is in Turku data center in Kakola. And they want that also the websites, they are hosted there. And now we have been pushing the whole system inside Turku data center from other cloud systems and built the system from ground up in last 1 year time. There's load balancers, test environment, production environment. We have 3-step environment for development, testing, and production. We have just 2. Local environment is for development, and we are using almost the same systems in local development. And we are using the industry standard for hosting Nginx, EH proxy, Redis, APC, PHP, FM, MariaDB, NAS file server, Solar, and LXstack for monitoring and logging. And we are pretty satisfied for this setup. It works. And Bitbucket is used for version control. And yes, let's go next to Ansible. Like in Undergrad, we are using Ansible for doing the automation for everything, so we are using also the same. And Ansible Core has about 450 different kind of modules to different kind of automation tools systems. And the easy start. Then there's Ansible Galaxy. It's the community place where you can find different kind of configuration to start with different projects that are not in the Ansible core, like Nginx, like EH proxy, like Solar. So you can find from the Galaxy tools for those. And it's open source. You can provide your own and publish them in Galaxy. We have done 2 of them. The other one is for Solar, and the other one is for Redis, and they are published in Ansible Galaxy. Ansible is basically running local and exit in service. It works that way. And SSH keys is the main key for opening the connection between servers and your machines. Ansible versus others. Before I took Ansible, I learned Puppet and was very satisfied with Puppet. But as you can see, the red line is for Ansible. It's the newcomer, but it has taken the place now really fast. And you can understand we are using Ansible when you compare the syntax with Jeff or Puppet to Ansible. It's just easy and clear. You understand what you are writing and what you want to do when you describe your tasks and templates. So the syntax fight is for Puppet. It's some configuration for Ashe or Red Hat and some IP table configuration. It's really verbose. It's really hard to manage dependencies and how it works. But it's really used and it's a enterprise standard. But when compared to YAML file, YAML syntax, it's so easy and it does the same and even faster. So really recommend when you try to do some automations in whatever system you use Ansible. Okay, the basics. Playbooks. Playbooks are in another way. You say on which service you want to execute what things. And in playbooks you also describe the roles, what the server is for. And like in here, I have copied database, Solar, and web roles. Here, which ports they are running, and in which host they are. The site name there is coming from other configuration, but basically it's an IP address where the server is found. So the kind of configurations you do manually when you install software, now adding those all configurations as variables to templates, so you have a central place you can commit them to version control. Whenever you change, you have changed what have changed, and then you deploy it. You get the same configuration then automatically to the servers. And you can do this one for, we have done in the other case, templates and configuration for basically everything. Nginx, users, vhosts, PHP configuration, Solar cores, Solar multi-core configurations, Solar schema, name it, HH proxy, everything is in Ansible configuration and templates. And we don't need to go to the servers to do any configuration change. And adding a new municipality to the system, we just need to add one file more to our deploy repository and deploy the system, and it will create every system ready for our developers to start development. The Git repository is not yet added, so even though Bitbucket has API to create a customer and create a repository via Ansible, we haven't added that one to our workflow, but it's the steps what we are doing. Then there are tasks. Tasks are easy ones. You have some template, some destination where you want the template to be copied. You can add some notifications, what happens after that one. And when you call Ansible config update MySQL to some site name, it will run, copy the configuration place, restart the MariaDB, and it's there. And we have added tasks for deployments, Drupal stuff, clearing cache, copy database from production to testing, compiling CSS, feature alerts, upDBs, setting some variables, and also Solar configuration like here. Ruby installations, every software can be installed also to different servers what we need. Simple task and run. Nginx configuration, SSL certifications, all those configuration for those. There's also the DH parameter for HH proxy they automatically created. So really robust system created to maintain the servers. The last lines, what are tags? They are now shorthands for doing just some parts of the whole system. You don't need to run the whole system every time. But when describing those tags, you can say that I would now compile only CSS or reverse features, or then just update MySQL database configuration or VHOC configuration. Just add those tags to the playbook running. And then the Drupal deployment. This is now a little bit hard to describe this in a few other Drupal camps also before, but basically we are having a base distribution which calls DrupalCamp, and it's based on DrupalMake. And DrupalMake has all the inventory for the DrupalContrib modules, DrupalContrib patches, Drupal core themes, and then it has custom modules and custom features. They are all in the Kickstart distribution. And we are building that one with DrupalMake, and it's completing the Drupal source code and giving us basic Drupal plus the installation profile, which is copied under profiles Kickstart. And we will deploy this one to perustuote.git, completely different repository. And this is one reason that when we are building DrupalMake system, we don't have completely knowing of which version we have now built to production. So we will take the installation profile, compile it, and put it to the one place and make it a release. So we will make releases tag perustuote 2.0, perustuote 2.1, so on. Then we know exactly which version is going in which municipality site. Then we have the municipality sites, per municipality days for every own Git repository, developer branch, and master branch, and also tags. Every time we release a new version, we will tag it, that we know that which version from that master branch is released on production and is developed. And developers can deploy the municipality sites themselves via Ansible. So I am working as release manager. I am handling the Kickstart and perustuote, but developers, they can develop straight with the municipality site and decide when it's ready to deploy. And basically the testing environment is on develop branch always, and the production is running in master or some tag. And it's working pretty well, but the environment specific feature branch, so we could create a complete new environment. It would be good, but we need to just add one more environment to our Ansible and deploy the code from there. It could work, but at the moment we have been doing it with 2 environments. In Drupal deployments, we basically have 3 tags. It's site install, site update. Then we have a DP chunk and compile CSS with 2 different tags. It's compile CSS and CSS deploy. You never know which one is the correct one, but they do the same. And site install, of course, it does everything from Drush site install, instant profile, username, password, and spins up the Drupal site. Site updates is for doing feature revert, updb, clearing caches, and that kind of things. And compile CS is mainly for developers when they push new theme or new JavaScript. They can just deploy that part from the repository and clear the cache. And if you can read the last lines, there are some examples there. You specify the tags, what you want to run, and call the site name on which site you want to run this one. And we have both environments, testing and production. They have a little bit different setups, so we need to be special that run the command from testing environment or production environment. With any tags, it will run the whole system. And for Drupal deployments, basically it's a Drush, deploy, and Insanity. And we are using deploy.run. You can find it in GitHub. And it's Ansible. It's just PHP, but doing basically the same what could be run inside Ansible. It was an easy start. It has built-in support for creating Drush aliases, has built-in system for notification New Relic, built-in system for notification in FlowDoc. So every time we build, get notification to New Relic and FlowDoc, it's run. And it has also backups. It keeps now 3 database dumps in the directory. So if something goes wrong, we can say deploy or G and take the latest back. And the post deploy, you can define per site that the feature revert need to be first, or updb first. Depends. Okay. Any questions before some of these demos? What I will do.
My apologies for another unrelated question, but
In your timing, also, did you by any chance develop the website for Formular in was it in product filtration systems?
Yes.
Yes, I managed their site during
moment.
the summer 2010. I just want to let you know that you inspired me to start work with Drupal.
Not bad.
Well, thank you.
Jibe is working there in Avold. He has been also doing the same system, I guess 2 years ago.
I remember I came to your office and you showed me how it works and showed me the views and stuff like that, and it really inspired me. I was like, yeah, this is never. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. This is our demo site. Doesn't pretty well, pretty good. It works. And now I'm in a production database. We are doing some changes there, saving them, and there is 16 there, and then we have a testing environment, the same, but nothing there. Yes, and calling the Ansible playbook with our own private key playbook site name demo, and on it tag db sync. It will start running and doing some tasks what we have been defining, that what should be done every time we do the deployment. And the same system can be run also for local environment. We haven't done it yet, but the same. So you can dump the system from production to your local environment and start working from there. And if anybody haven't yet used Jeff Gerling's created Drupal VM vagrant box, which deployed Ansible, it's a really great start for doing local development. It has built-in systems for almost everything you need to know. They are configured, having CentOS, Ubuntu, Red Hat, having Nginx or Apache, having Xdebug, all those tools inside, catching mail, they are inside it. And it's done with Ansible, so you can learn how the Ansible Galaxy community tool works. They are there. Now the deployed run, it's taking, I think, 5 minutes. But what it's doing now, it's mainly dropping the test database completely, dump the production database, transferring it to testing environment, and dumping it back, running updb, running feature reverts, and clearing caches. And then we can continue working. Sync SQL with production database. It's the command what it's now running there. Need to just wait. Any questions? How many have been using Ansible? Cheers. Good. Still somebody stuck in Puppet? Jeff? Good. Nothing?
Yeah, but just drag it up.
FTP.
No.
There's also just bash scripts.
Yeah.
Yep. In Wally, there was on one machine that developers can win, and you can install nothing. So we had a lot of bash scripts doing basically everything from that one machine in simultaneous service. And I guess They tried also Puppet and Puppet Master for a while, but I think the latest one now they are also doing Ansible almost in everything.
How are you managing the SSH keys? Should you also exclusively to connect to the servers?
Yeah, that's still manual.
You have the same problem with some solution for it now.
Okay.
There is something.
Yeah, that's still the manual process that we need to add those keys. We are adding those only for 2 servers. 2 servers that have the null file system. Yeah. And we are sudoing, so we have the basic users in servers, and we are not running them by our own username in servers. Yeah.
There's only one user.
One user inside, and we sudo it from local environment. Okay, any other questions?
Probably you are see that others that Drupal don't have again. How do you handle this kind of weak security at the Drupal core and protect all sides?
Basically, at the moment, we will just add the new core or the patch to the trust make. So we will get full distribution, and then we just do fast merge to the perustuote, which was the middle one, and then the release for the municipalities.
Create a new release tag.
Yes, yeah. We have done bus scripts for syncing installation profile from the perustuote to the municipality side. So we are using rsync. We don't use git subtree, so we don't use git submodules or something like that to synchronize that installation profiles to municipalities. It could be possible, but we have decided to use rsync. So we build the first perustuote and then sync files to the municipality side, and then check in Git that are those changes proper ones. If they are, then we will release. And also development, if we create some feature updates or new features in municipality sites, we will create pull requests in Bitbucket to our base installation, and we will have full code review there and that kind of workflow. So we will have new features adding from municipality to perustuote. It will take some while to do it, but it's manageable. And it needs almost full day business manager to handle different aspects of this different municipality sites. They are not the same, they have different needs. And trying to keep the whole base system stable, as we are having 250 modules, I guess, yes, much. Those fields, about 100 fields, and syncing those is that are they translatable or are they not translatable, in which version they are going. There's lots of doing to keep the base product fixed. Yeah.
You only keep in the files, you will keep the common features for all the base values.
Yep, it works. And in this slide that there is the perustuotekit, which is what I am now handling, that what's the stable version of that one. I'm also deploying that one almost daily to the develop environment. That running the trust site installation, checking that does it work, does it do the thing what it should be doing, are all variable setup. The configuration management in Drupal 7 is just pain in the ass, but it works if you do the work. Yeah. At the moment there are about 30 municipality sites, and as you have read from the news, Rauma decided to leave the house. They want to develop completely new. They really want to start with this tier system, complete free choice of them. But of course, when doing websites strictly on some product, it gives customers some kind of feeling that they are tightened to do what the base product is doing, and having their own features and feature requests, they are not getting served so fast. And this is no problem when we are developing a base product, that some customers want so much different than the base product can offer for everyone. Okay, I guess this is enough for this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Antti. Thank you to the man who has spoken in every DrupalCamp in Turku, both of them. Anyways, that was the last of our speech. So next up, I guess we are going to have to go to after party. So I know, right? So we will be leaving to around 5. So before that, I think we'll have some great instruction on how to pull my hearing again. So please, Ville, are you ready? So the next question is what next? Stay here for Peter talking until 16:50, and what happens then? Take shotgun and your belongings, go out and follow the next rules. Have you seen it? That's there, and the food was there. The rule is follow the green line. Don't go in, follow the line. Follow the line, and end of the line is called an eatery. That's the place to be at 5 o'clock. plan is to be there 5 o'clock. Have you seen this guy? This guy have a bunch of beer gets, and we deal with in a bar. This gets for each alcohol. Only what they said, don't buy a most expensive whiskey. That doesn't work. But anything else, that tickets. I sent the beta list to the Kultan and Hirvi, and they told that 30 pizzas are ready at 5 o'clock, and then they produced the pizzas. There was like a 20 pizzas, so it might take for a while. Let's go there, they draw tickets, and let's look after that what's planned to have. Maybe taxi and city center and something. Yeah. But thank you very much. Take the beer upstairs, downstairs, and we will meet at Kultan here at 5. Yeah, thank you.
And if you have at this moment, thank you to everybody for coming today. This has been a great event, and we are really glad that this many people showed up. And so thank you to everybody, and we'll hopefully see you next week. And also tomorrow's sprint, tomorrow at Budapest's office. Yeah, will be around there. So at Aurakatu 14, you will find Budapest offices right next to Drupal. Probably even better where its offices than I do.
Well, for those people who doesn't navigate through street names, but navigates through bar names, so you always Rento, and then there's Bari, so Rento Bar, where in between there. So from that you go inside and you're gonna put their papers, and if you don't get in, you're gonna get a phone number or you can call. Thank you.
Bring your laptop.
One more thing to the sprint, bring laptops. If you have some time and you want to get run fast and start sitting, it might be maybe a good idea to sample the environment for Drupal 8, because it usually takes quite much of time. But if not, then that's fine. We can work it out on the sprint. Thank you.